What is going on, Amazon sellers? Happy Sunday afternoon. I hope that your work weekend has been productive. My name is Chris Grant, and welcome to How to Sell on Amazon Live. This is where we spend 30 minutes answering your questions, helping you in any way that we possibly can to be better Amazon sellers, whether that is retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or wholesale, whatever I can help you with. You just drop the question in the chat. And then, of course, I will try to bring a tip to help you as well. And I've got something that is incredibly simple today, but it's something that I think a lot of people overlook. And I've got a reason why they overlook it. And we'll get to that here in just a moment. But welcome in. Hey, Paulie, what is going on? Luke, glad to have you in here, man. Hey, Kevin, what's going on? Hey, Juan, good to see you. Kent, what is going on? And Carrie, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. All right, so first question of the day here is from David. David, what do you think can go from 0 to $1 million in revenue fastest, OA or wholesale, assuming 50K in cash? And hey, Debbie, what's going on? Hey, Joe. So my opinion is that you could probably get to $1 million in revenue faster with online arbitrage. And let me back that up with some evidence before I go ahead, or before anyone says, oh, well, you love online arbitrage, so of course it's OA. But here's the thing. With online arbitrage, there are going to be fewer gatekeepers. Now, don't mistake that for no gatekeepers. There are going to be websites that will cancel your orders and will give you problems. There are going to be brands that, maybe file an IP complaint or try to get you off a listing and send you a cease and desist order. Let me tell you that cease and desist orders and IP complaints happen with wholesale as well. But here's the thing with online arbitrage or retail arbitrage for that matter. The only thing between you and $1 million in revenue is ordering more product, not having to get approval to order product and then go through and place a PO and go through a buy list and all of that stuff. And maybe you go through, 1 or 5 or even 7 different suppliers, and maybe none of them have things that are profitable. And so you end up not buying anything and you keep looking for more, and you go to 2 or 3 trade shows before you finally find that supplier that is an absolute home run for you, or you find 2 or 3 that are singles and doubles. That is going to take a ton of time. With online arbitrage, you could have that 50K. I mean, I know guys who spend 50K in a day. Now, not every single day are they going to spend $50,000, but when the right sale comes along, they're going to deploy $50,000 in capital by lunchtime, and then they're going to take the rest of the afternoon off. Now, wholesale, and I'm not knocking wholesale. I think that any form of arbitrage, retail, online, wholesale, which they're all just forms of arbitrage, I think that they're all great. And once you have a business up and running, should you add wholesale? If you're doing wholesale, should you also do OA and retail arbitrage? If possible, yeah, I'm not against doing everything. The biggest sellers that I know, the biggest sellers that we've had on the podcast, they all do all 3. But anyway, that's my opinion. All right. Hey, Syed, what's going on? Glad to have you here, man. Good evening, Amazon and Walmart sellers, too, so far, right? My 3rd sale just came through on Walmart just today. So things are getting pretty serious between me and Walmart. Hey, Marilee, what's going on? Michael, what is up? Hey, Jeanette, happy Sunday. Question, how can I tell when something says hazmat? How do I know if that means flammable also? We can't do flammable, but can send aerosol. Now this is a good question. I don't really think about it because I have room for both. But here's here's kind of an easy way. You're probably going to just need to use a little bit of common sense. So, if it is aerosol, chances are it's going to be flammable as well, because most aerosol things actually use a flammable gas as the aerosol. So, hairspray, it's going to be aerosol, even though it is flammable. And most other things are going to be that way as well. That's what I've seen. Now, if it is a non aerosol hairspray, that's going to be just flammable. It's not going to be aerosol. If it is a cologne, a perfume, an eau de toilette, whatever it may be, that's going to go under flammable rather than aerosol. So that's probably how you're really going to need to check it out. Other than that, you'd have to add it to your catalog and go through that whole process. I know that there is a way to check on products. I'll need to check this for you. And Jeanette, if you want to send me a message, I'll check it in my seller account. But there is a place to check hazmat status. And if you go into Seller Central, or if you have an ASIN now that you are willing to share, I'll go into Seller Central without sharing my screen and I'll take a look. But the hazmat checker may tell you which one it's under. William, what's going on? Hey, Chris, I was ignorant about the first sale doctrine until you mentioned it. Why are IP complaints still a factor for Amazon sellers given this law? So before I get to the rest of your question, let me state that the first sale doctrine is not a law per se. It was a ruling that is called the first sale doctrine by the Supreme Court of the United States. And I can't remember what lawsuit it came about, but that ruling said in there that if you legally own the product, you can resell it without violating copyright or trademark or anything like that. So, if I own a Disney product that I purchased from a Disney park, I can go and resell that. And Disney can't say, hey, you're breaking our IP because you're now selling this product. So not a law, but a doctrine. Okay. And now, does this mean that all of them can be ignored? So here's the thing about IP complaints. Amazon acts as a go-between between brands and sellers. And Amazon wants to try to wash their hands of it. They really want to be as hands-off as possible. And that's why they give brands an avenue to file complaints. But you'll notice they'll let you fight back on it. They will let you prove that it's authentic if that's what the IP complaint is about. If it's a trademark violation, those ones are a little bit harder to fight. You're not really going to fight that with Amazon. You're going to have to take it directly to the brand, or you're going to have to file what's called a DMCA counter notice, where the brand then has a choice: retract or sue me. Okay. And so that becomes something a lot of sellers don't want to deal with. Now, does this mean that you should ignore everything from brands? No, not everything. If it's a cease and desist letter, if it's coming via email, if it's coming via first class mail, I just got my second cease and desist letter from a brand that we sell. And I opened it up right in front of the trash can and then threw it directly into the trash can because their cease and desist holds zero weight. They're not even willing to pay for a signature from me or anything like that. And so those ones I put no credence in. Now, if they're willing to pay for a letter that I have to sign for that shows proof that I got it, if they're writing up a potential lawsuit that says, hey, you know what, if you don't stop by this date, we're going to go ahead and file this with whatever court we want to, etc. Those ones I'm being a little bit more careful about because chances are you might be able to win if you're not breaking any trademark, if you're not, stepping on their IP. However, they very likely have deeper pockets than we do as sellers. And do I really want to have to travel to another state and deal with a lawsuit and that kind of thing? But here's the other thing you can do. Have a lawyer, get Seller Basics, get Jeff Schick, get somebody who can take those letters and respond to them with the legalese version of a middle finger, and let them know that you don't really have a case. You're not really going to do anything. Maybe I'll stop selling it, but get off my case. Inner Peace with Sesame Seeds. What is going on? Glad to have you here. Hey, Nate, what is up? Hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate it. If you get some value out of this, hit the like button, hit the share button. It would be massive for me if you share this and get it out to more folks. We are trying to do this to help as many people as possible. Syed, what do you think the right time to add another platform along with Amazon? As I tried eBay, but lost efficiency on Amazon, so leave everything and focused on Amazon again. My opinion is you can grow pretty big on a single platform. I mean, look at say Pattern for example. They're a wholesale arbitrage business. They are a reseller like all of us are. They're just doing it at massive scale, over $1 billion a year, and that's just on Amazon. Now, are they on other platforms as well? Yes, absolutely. It's never a bad idea to try to de-risk a bit and have multiple platforms. But I think that until you are hiring people to take things off of your plate, that one platform is probably enough. And you just use things like Walmart, eBay to get rid of your death pile and things that you can't sell. Yeah, I'm telling you, Carrie, third sale on Walmart. I am well on my way to guru status. Absolutely. Nana's flipping. Congrats on the Walmart sale. I appreciate that. I have not sent anything into WFS yet. That's down the road, I would imagine. Kent, has there been a FinCEN update? Haven't checked the status for a while. As of right now, so what Kent is talking about is the beneficial ownership information. It's a form that has to be filed with FinCEN, or the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, which I can't remember what government agency is overseeing that. But as of right now, it is still stalled. It is on hold. There was a stay order put in place by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and they are going to hear arguments from the DOJ, I believe, about this, but I don't know when it's scheduled. I am following the NFIB, which is, I think, the National Federation of Independent Businesses or something, but NFIB. They're who I'm following for updates on this. They're very much against this, and so they are making sure that every update is out there. Syed, what's the correct weight and dimensions you suggest for FBA products so we won't get much pain of storage charges if we're unable to resell within 2 months? I like smaller items. I'm a big fan of smaller things. So the smaller, the better, in my opinion. Allows you to get more units if you are limited in your storage. And it tends to be a cheaper per unit storage fee for items that are going to be there for a while. But I don't really worry about the storage fee that much until we get to 6 months, because from month 1 through 6, it's really only going to be pennies. It's usually not too much. I need to go double check what the fee structure is. But whenever I look at a product, it might be, 6, 7, 8 cents per month in storage fees for most things that we're sending in. It's really when you get to 6 months when those long-term storage fees, or whatever they call them now, start kicking into place. Jeanette just got an IP and fought and won within hours. Then the owner did it again, fought and won again. Question is, do I keep dealing with this or just let it go? They are annoying, but it sells. That is something that becomes a little bit more difficult. You've got to figure out, is the juice worth the squeeze eventually? If you're having to fight an IP complaint once a week, even though you're selling through how many ever it may be, is that 2 hours of work every week to fight that IP complaint, is it worth whatever the profit is that you're making? Um, and and so if I had to spend 2 hours a week fighting a brand, but I'm making $1,000 a week in profit, it's probably worth my time. And honestly, at that point, and let's just say this is something I think I can sell for the next 6 months. At that point, it's okay. Well, I can hire someone to fight these for me and still be profitable, and maybe I'm okay with that. But if I'm making, $50 a week and I've got to fight it, well, that doesn't leave me the margin to hire someone to handle it for me. And do I really want to make $25 an hour? No. Our goal, all of our goals collectively, should be to increase our hourly earnings as high as we possibly can. So, someone over here on Instagram says that they think the BOI deadline is the 15th. It was the 15th. They did extend it, but right now there is a stay order in place. You can go double check that. I don't ever want. I can be wrong on occasion. If you ask my wife, I can be wrong regularly, even. However, um, there is a stay order on it. I know they have not updated it yet. JG Ecom. Do what's best. Yeah, absolutely do what's best for your business. And Joe, I hate Pattern can be a bit of a pain, but they run one heck of a business. First time joining one of your calls, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Listen, I've been around the Amazon space for 10 years now, a little over 10 years. We do online arbitrage. We've done retail arbitrage. We've done wholesale. We've done a little private label. We do a little bit of everything. And I've done several courses. We have a ton of content out there. I've been around for a little while. I don't want to go down my whole story because it can take a while. But I've been around this place for a little bit. Syed, in case of getting deactivated from Amazon, got a lot of inventory non-sellable and non-returnable. What solution do you have in mind to tackle this inventory loss to recover? You just have to figure out other avenues. So you've got to go to you're gonna have to take that kind of stuff to eBay. You have to take it to Walmart. You can work with other sellers and see if they'll sell it for you. There's all kinds of different ways to handle that. And so, David, BOI is due tomorrow. No, it is not. It is not. Bear with me just one moment here. Oops. BOI. ChatGPT is always a bit late, so you're going to want to check that. The status of the Corporate Transparency Act beneficial ownership information reporting requirement continues to evolve. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals issued an order. Let's see here. Reinstating the injunction preventing the BOI requirement from going into effect. This means reporting requirements of the CTA, which had an amended deadline of January 13th, are now delayed again until legal challenges to the law can be heard. So, as of right now, it is still delayed. And that is from 2 days ago. And then if you look at Forbes, that's from 3 weeks ago. That's too old. But check with the NFIB. Okay. They always have the latest update here. And it is still on hold. No one is required to comply as of yet. All right. You are more than welcome to fill that information out. You can fill out your BOI if you want to. No one is going to stop you, but it is not required. And yes, so I hear a lot of people say it literally takes 5 minutes. And I totally understand that. It only takes a short period of time to do it. It is not difficult to do. Um, I am I am not one who is a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. However, I am when it comes to business, I want the government to back off just a little bit. So for me, it's more just about, hey, I don't have to do this. I don't want to be on some other list, and so I don't do it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people like that, but different strokes for different folks. Doesn't matter to me which one you want to do. Luke brings up a good point about the IP complaint. Sooner or later, they may change their complaint to something you can't win, like a trademark violation, if it is actually the brand. See, that is one of the problems with Amazon's system when it comes to IP complaints. Okay. When it comes to IP complaints, uh, anybody can do them. I could send Luke an IP complaint if I knew his storefront, if I really wanted to. I could become a real thorn in his side and use a fake email address and all that kind of stuff. The policing is garbage. What type of monthly purchases would you recommend with online art or with arbitrage? Like if there's any product having 100 bought with it with 10 sellers, what do you suggest? So I am a perpetual test buyer. I'm usually never buying more than 20 or 30 units at a time, unless I have some serious history with the product. And I know some people are like, hey, I go all in all the time, but I would much rather you go wide and shallow because there are a lot of things that can happen. Okay. This goes back to JG saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I would much rather you have 50 different products for sale, and have 10 units each rather than having 10 different products for sale and having 50 units each. Okay. Because if one of the ASINs gets clipped for some reason or it gets gated or something like that, well, you've got those other 49 to take you on. Okay. Same goes if the listing tanks in price. Well, one listing tanks, I've got 49 others, and it's not as big of a deal when I'm going wide. Carrie, as we fight the IP complaint, it is only 5 minutes as we just resubmit. It's not the brand, just another seller. Is this a good case to send to Jeff and have him write a letter for harassment? You could certainly try. The problem is there's not really going to be an address. There's just an email address, and you don't even know if they're actually getting it. So if you just want to keep resubmitting, that's all right too. Uh, Let's see. I can't pronounce this name on Instagram, but when choosing a prep center, would you go to a tax-free prep center without a doubt or other things considered? There are going to be other things that you want to consider when it comes to a prep center, like what are you doing? Okay. If you're doing wholesale, then using a tax-free prep center is not going to be as big of a deal because you're going to be buying tax-free products anyway. But if you're doing arbitrage, I think that you should most likely use a tax free prep center, or you need to know how to get your sales tax reimbursed. Now, there is a service out there that will do this for you. It's called refundsalestax.com. That's refundsalestax.com. It happens to be some people that I know and that I trust. They will recoup your sales tax paid in your state for you. And then it doesn't really matter. You could go to a taxable state for your prep center and just get reimbursed your sales tax. But it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier just to not pay sales tax up front. And you can put that money in your pocket, and that will end up paying for the prep fees in a lot of cases. You're going to want to figure out how much sales tax you're saving, plus your time and your costs on materials, etc. And it makes sense to be in a sales tax free space. Is it possible to register another sibling details and sell the same stuff of an old Amazon account? I think if Amazon caught the second account, comes with a risk. Yeah, so there is a risk if you do this. Okay, are there people who have created second accounts after getting the first one nuked? Yes, absolutely. Is there a way to do it? Yeah, there are ways to do it where you're probably not going to get caught, but it is specifically against Amazon terms of service to do that. All right. Agree on your wide and shallow theory, but what's your opinion once the product reaches the prep center and hits sale? Should we start gathering more units or keep focusing on new SKUs? I think that you reassess after you have some of your own data. So let's say, for example, that you go wide and deep. All right. And you're a perpetual test buyer, and you know that every 3 weeks or every 6 weeks, I can rebuy at the same or similar price. All right. Many of the products that I have in my catalog, I know the sales cycle. All right. I know that once every 6 weeks, I'm probably going to be able to get the same price over again or something really doggone close to it. All right. So now the thing is, can I buy this once every 6 weeks? If so, I'll do it. But what happens when that price goes down? Well, I don't want to be sitting on 20, 30, 50 units. So I'm typically still buying fairly shallow. If my test order was 10 units and I sell through in a week, maybe on the next go around, I'm going to buy 20, maybe 30 and see how that goes. But again, I'm trying to protect myself from having something happen. Price tanking, IP issues, brands getting gated. There's all kinds of things that can happen. Okay, uh, black swan events, whatever. So, might I leave some money on the table? Yes, that is a possibility. However, I should have 100, 200, 300 different SKUs that I can go after. And so leaving a little money on the table gives me the opportunity to continue to buy other products rather than have to worry so much about one single product. I call it the Vanguard strategy. All right. It's a shotgun approach to your catalog, and it's not for everybody. Some people want to absolutely go deep when the fundamentals are there on the Keepa graph and everything else. I am a little bit more risk averse and like to spread things out. William, I have about 100 ASINs, but can only seem to get the buy box for 20% any given time with a repricer. I adjust my prices on the regular, but can't seem to pass this threshold. Do I need to have more ASINs? No, that's actually pretty good. Okay. I think 20%, that's actually pretty high. All right. It seems like you might be being very aggressive. But yes, more ASINs will also, you'll end up having more buy boxes. I think that the last time that I checked, and don't trust Amazon's number, okay? Amazon's number of buy box wins is completely wrong, and it's also a trailing figure. But I think we had at one point somewhere between 22 and 25% of buy boxes. And that's going to change all the time as well. All right. So that you might be looking at it a little too granular. As long as you're selling through your inventory at a decent clip, you should be fine. Buy boxes are going to come and go all the time. So 20, 25% should be plenty. Let's see here. Syed, there are many people discouraging people towards Amazon due to crackdown and are fascinated by other platforms like Walmart and eBay. What are your thoughts on it? How do you see Amazon in the coming 5 years? Amazon is going to be here and it's going to be the leader in the space for the next 5 years. Will Walmart make some ground? Yes, absolutely. Is eBay going to become bigger? I don't think so. eBay is not for the people who are shopping on Amazon, shopping on Walmart. So listen, there are always things changing. Okay. And eventually, Walmart is going to get larger. They're going to have more sellers. They're going to have more rules in place. There are going to be more hurdles to jump over, just like with Amazon. Amazon just happens to be ahead of where Walmart is. It's called the network effect. All right. The very same thing happened on Amazon as well. It was the Wild West at one point. We could do all kinds of things. Was selling thrifted products. I was reaching out to customers, asking them to remove reviews. Was selling things that were probably could have been illegal. Okay, without getting my account suspended. There was no such thing as IP complaints. Brands really didn't have anything they could do. Like it was crazy. Okay. Walmart is doing something similar within a little bit more bounds because they know how a marketplace works, but eventually there will be more rules, there will be more restrictions, there will be more hoops to jump through. That's just the way it goes as the network effect works its magic. All right. So is it a good idea to have a Walmart account? Yeah, absolutely. You might as well get in at the beginning. But do I think that they're going to take over Amazon in the next 5 years? Probably not in the next 5 years. Okay. New sellers, stop trying to fight all these complaints on Amazon. There's more than enough product to sell on. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, but I don't necessarily think we shouldn't fight against some of these complaints either. All right, guys. Well, I had a tip for you guys, but unfortunately, we have run over time. I need to get going back to the family. Again, hope your work weekend was fantastic. I'm going to be back here tomorrow to do this all over again. Oh, but before I go, a reminder January 27th, we start the OA Challenge. If you want to have something like this where I also teach you how to source and share every one of my secrets, open the kimono, metaphorically, not physically, and show you everything. We start on January 27th. Head over to oachallenge.com to learn a little bit more. It's going to be a great time. 14 days of learning, networking, growing your business. And I'd love to see you there. So that's oachallenge.com. All right, guys, have a great start to your week, and I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. to do this all over again.